Is the bull run over, guys? Is the bull run over? We are now getting very, very cheap in terms of price, and there's a lot of people frustrated. And if you've been around the block, you know the game here. But I'm just making this video to really talk about what's happening in the market, where we could go. And a lot of people are looking at the price of Bitcoin right now at $56,000. And last week we were at 60s, and now people were saying there's no way we're going back in the 50s. Now we're almost approaching sub 55k. Ethereum's getting cheap, meme coins are cheap, AI coins are cheap. We'll go over all those at the end of the video. But a lot of people are frustrated, and it's mostly the new guys that are in the game that had to make money in the next week because they thought this was next and this was their way out of the real world. But here's the reality. This is 100% normal. You know this is very manipulated right now, and you hopefully know where we're going by 2025. So is this bull run over? Well, here's what people will say, and there's some good points to be made here. So why the bull run is potentially over. Now, I don't believe it's over, and you probably don't as well, because why else would you be watching a crypto video unless you just like shits and giggles? But seriously, you're trying to make a lot of money, right? But 4 main points that people will argue. There's a lot more points, but 4 reasonable points. There's regulatory concerns, right? There's a lot of FUD out there with how this will make this bull run not happen. Okay, and also people are saying the bull run's already happened. That was it. It was over. Which that makes no sense, by the way. If you look at previous 4 cycles and the 4-year cycles, that would make no sense. But regulatory concerns, we can't ignore that. That is a thing. People are saying, well, the market's tired right now. Okay, well, here's an analogy. If you climb a hill, let's just actually look at this, because I wanted to kind of break this down. I could tell you the story, but if we're being honest, it's better to explain it on the chart. Really, if you go and climb a hill, let's just say hypothetically, you kind of take a little break. It's the same with the markets, although that sounds super, super stupid. Bitcoin's climbed a massive hill. It has to take a breather. It can't go up forever. If you look at this chart on actually TradingView, you'll see a better kind of example. There's many climbs and there's many rests. There's many climbs, rest, climb, rest, climb, rest. It's just the same game, brother. It's just the same game. So you might look at the market right now and say, this was the high, right? This was the little bull run. Well, was it? Could be, but I don't think so. This is where I'm aiming for. Just keep that in mind, because we'll talk about that as we go through this video. So the market's tired. It's a fair point, but it's supposed to be tired, right? It doesn't go up forever. Now, that would tie into potential overbought situation. I do believe that. I believe we were overbought because the ETFs pushed us way higher than what we needed to be. I agree with that one. But that doesn't mean the bull run's over. And there's obviously warnings from JP Morgan, etc., about how this is the end of cryptocurrency. And they always do this. The people writing these news articles, I've got one at the end of this video, stick around for that. It's actually crazy. They write these articles to shake you out the market so they can keep buying. If you look at this chart right here, this is when every time Bitcoin was dead, right? So you look at 2011. So that's it. That's the Bitcoin bottom then, when it was literally pennies. Bitcoin would crash to $10 by mid-2014. Bro, I would love a $10 Bitcoin, wouldn't you, right now? And then we had here, and obviously in between there's many more situations. The end of Bitcoin, rest in peace Bitcoin, it's time to move on. Bitcoin prices are headed to zero. Bitcoin is literally worth nothing. Bitcoin's over. And then that was the kind of last big call by a lot of news articles. And then what happened? Everybody shut up because they couldn't write anything over. It just went up forever. And that's where we are right now. It's honestly where I believe we are right now. So there's concerns. That's fine. If you're not going to take advantage of dips along the market, this journey isn't for you. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's a very difficult situation that we're in. Now, here's why the bull run isn't over. What I believe. I'm strongly pro this, and you can't argue with this. Spot ETFs. Bitcoin has now become such of a poster boy for cryptocurrency. And again, we're going to tie this back in like altcoins. That's what we're really interested in. But Bitcoin controls the market. We need Bitcoin to do well. If it doesn't, it's game over. Everything else is going to zero. That's just the game. Eventually that won't happen because coins, ecosystems, narratives will lead their own way. But if Bitcoin just started to dip, and that's what's happening right now, if Bitcoin dips to 30k, 40k next month, our altcoins are going to get trashed. That is good, but it's also bad because like we pay the price for that. Even if we're in solid projects, that's just the game. Eventually, I believe that altcoins will start to go by themselves and they won't rely on Bitcoin too much. But right now, that's just the way we are. And that's beautiful because we get cheap prices, okay? In the long term, when probably we're long gone dead, prices are going to be so high anyways. It's going to be just like maybe an 8% S&P 500, this cryptocurrency game, which is still great. But right now, we pay for the volatility for the price gains. That's what we're paying for. We're paying for these dips right now. The pain of saying, oh, can I really handle this anymore? That's the game we're in. It's the hardest asset ever. It has finite supply. It's not an infinite supply. And cycle over cycle, it is going up forever. That is an absolute fact. Worldwide demand, okay? Historical price performance. You look at previous runs. And the mainstream media will flock in 2025 driving retail that Jeffrey's crazy. So that's why the bull run isn't over. You get to decide. Again, I'm not here to show you anything. You get to decide where you want to be on the spectrum. If you think the bull run's over, sell and go and live your life and come back in 2025 when you're going to be forced to buy at higher prices. If you think it isn't over, you buckle down and you get to work buying as much of these altcoins and Bitcoin, whatever you're interested in, as much as possible. There's only two sides. You're either in or you're out. There's no in between in this game. There's no sitting on the sidelines. Either in or you're not. You hold crypto or you don't. You're buying or you're not. That's it. Here's what we know. This will get you guys excited. The Bitcoin price action we're seeing here comes at the end of every blue year, okay? So this kind of phase right here. It's boring, but it's preparation for the year of all-time highs. If you look at 2012, back here, 2016, back here, 2020, back here, and 2024 where we are right now. Don't you think it's funny how it always repeats? Okay? And if this was wrong and it didn't repeat, none of this I wouldn't be able to make a case on this. But so far, look where we are right now compared to 2012, 2016, and 2020. I'm only spitting facts here. These are not mine. The stories and the motivation I give you, that comes from me wanting you to do well. You can agree or disagree with that, but you can't disagree with this. Because this is factual price moments of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has done in previous cycles before it went bananas. 2012, we're at the end of the blue zone. Everybody was panicking. If you were to zoom in on this, you've seen some big red candles. Guess what happened? If you look at 2016, nothing was happening. It went crazy. If you look at 2020, the run that I was in, nothing was happening. Why are you buying Bitcoin, Jake? Why are you buying cryptocurrency, Jake? Stop buying this thing. You're just going to lose all your money. Okay? And it's the exact same situation. Now we have a little bit to go here before we enter the red zone, but it's food for thought. It's just food for thought. Are you going to be packing your bags up aggressively now? Or are you just going to sit and wait on the sidelines and buy in the red zone like most people did in the last run and they'll continue to do? Do you want to be part of the 0.001% that have a successful bull run and actually get rich? Not just do well, that actually get rich. Or do you want to be the hairdresser, the mom and pop that buy the peaks when it's all over the news? You get to decide, okay? I follow people that make these charts that got rich in cryptocurrency because I want to get rich in cryptocurrency. I don't want to buy the reds, e.g. not the red candles, e.g. the reds in this chart. I don't want to buy when Bitcoin's above 100k. There's no money to be left. It's time to get out. I want to buy when there's fear and blood on the streets. Again, there's only two sides. Are you in or you're out? If you look at this one, a little bit more exciting, you look at March 2024. Was not the only final crypto rally. So again, a lot of people were saying that this run here, that was it. That was the peak. Most people would have agreed on after the ETF's launch, the price has gone sideways for 6 months. They've become bored and scared. So right now, again, this is why there's not much interest. It's not hot anymore. If you went back a couple of months ago, everything was hot, right? Brett was $2 billion or $1.8 billion market cap. Pepe was hot. Ethereum was hot. Solana was going crazy, nearly the all-time highs. But right now it's boring and scared, right? Nobody's talking about it. If you've been here since the beginning of the cycle and you've held through black swan predictions, many calls for a recession that never actually came, 2 gruesome sideways periods where it's boring, nothing's happening, I promise you, there's only one way this can go. It's tried to dump so hard, and we could dump. There's a lot of people calling for 40Ks. I'll bring that up at the end of this video. We could go there, okay? But eventually, when we go back to this chart and we enter this red zone, you know where this is going, okay? You know where we go as we approach October, November, December, January 25. You know there's only one way for this, okay? And again, if cycles and history didn't repeat, I couldn't make this argument. But so far, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And this is where you're looking for. 94k Bitcoin, 130k Bitcoin, 180k Bitcoin. You decide where you want to play for. But again, you're either in or you're out. So the question is, what do you do? Okay? Memes, AI, and gaming, I just brought these up on CoinMarketCap. Everything's red. There's not a single coin in most categories, but particularly these categories, which probably you guys are interested in, like me. If you look in the last 7 days, that's the number here on the right. Okay? There's nothing in the green. There's nothing in the green, man. Like, just look. Pepe down 7%, Brett down 15%, Popcat 17% down, Flocky 22% down. You come over to the AI sector, Injectable 15% down, Render 16% down, the gaming. Everything's down, man. Okay? Now again, where are you at? Are you buying or you're selling? You're doing nothing. If you check some coins you want to buy at a discount, it might be the time to top up, brother. Again, we could fall down lower, but how far can we really fall? We don't know. What we can do, again, going back to this, once we enter the red zone, it's plain sailing. So you get to decide. Here's the post that everybody's talking about. If you haven't seen this, this was on Forbes. Now, whenever I see articles like this, take it with a grain of salt, because what these guys try and do is they try and scare you so they can buy all your coins, and then they start promoting the thing again where you buy in higher, and they constantly rinse and repeat us for so much money. So Forbes just wrote this post literally about 12 hours ago, and they say, strap in. There's a serious 40k Bitcoin price crash. Warning issued as the Fed suddenly braces for the US dollar crisis that's predicted to spark total collapse. Could this happen? Could we go 40k Bitcoin? Absolutely. You know what's going to happen if we go 40k Bitcoin? Ethereum's going to be sub probably 1.5k. Solana's going to be way below $70. XRP, ADA, HBAR, they're going to be pennies. Brett's going to be probably $200 million market cap. So if that did happen, what would you do? What would you do? Now, theoretically, if we could just sell over coins and buy back in, that would be ideal. But I'll be honest with you, I've got a lot of balls in cryptocurrency and in the real world, but I don't have the balls to sell everything right now and try and time this, because could happen. You'd make a lot of money if you have a decent amount in, 6 figures or so, even a couple $1,000. You'd make a lot of money. You do a lot of catch up. But my only problem with this, if this was to happen, what if it didn't? And then you start buying back in way higher prices. That would kind of suck, because you'd have to play so much catch up. Your exit prices would have to be so much higher, and you'd have to play such a riskier game. The better thing might be do is just buy in DCA on the way down. That's all you can really do. You're either in, or you're out, or you're on the sidelines. It's up to you.